My master? Oh, no. Gee, great Senior G. John Ijin stuttered after he gulped. He instinctively leaned backward as he said, Can I break our agreement? Am I that terrifying? Zhou remembered that John Ijin had said that Ji Tiandao was the person whom he feared the most. And no, John Ijin said, contrary to his true feelings. Zhou stroked his beard and said, I've always valued promises. Similarly, I hate those who do not abide by their words the most. But you didn't tell me who you are. John Ijin weakly protested, his voice cracking. Did you ask? Zhou retorted. He did not say he was a senior monk either. John Ijin racked his brain. Indeed, it seemed like he had never asked about Zhou's identity. He had been duped. Oh, this is 8 lifetimes of accumulated rotten luck. I boarded a pirate ship without noticing it. Even if he were run away now, he would definitely be hunted down in the future. It was better to dismiss such thoughts. A moment later, Mingshi Yin returned. He cupped his hand at Zhou and said, Master. Zhou nodded and said, Bring Zhao Yu back and lock her in the Cave of Reflection. Yes, Master. Mingshi Yin walked up to little Yuan and glanced at Zhao Yu. When he saw the golden lotus on Zhao Yu's forehead, he appeared shocked. Which craft? Little Yuan said, Senior brother, 5th senior sister's cultivation base has been sealed. If Master didn't arrive in the nick of time, I'm afraid. She did not finish her sentence. Not for the first time today. John Ijin felt like crying as he thought to himself, as it turns out, all this trouble is just a master rescuing his disciple. To think I thought we were going to punish the she-villain. I really thought too much. Zhou waved his hand casually. Witzer materialized out of thin air. When he saw the legendary mount, John Ijin's eyes widened. He was stunned. He was not interested in mounts, but he knew how difficult it was to possess 2 legendary mounts. As expected of the master of Evil Sky Pavilion, he really lives up to his name as the greatest villain who dominated the world. Master, you'll let me return with Witzer? Mingshi Yin asked disbelievingly. Go on. Zhou waved his hand. Mingshi Yin was overjoyed. He nodded continuously. Thank you, Master. Zhao Yu bowed at Zhou and said, This disciple knows that she has committed a grave mistake. She'll certainly repent back on Golden Court Mountain. After that, the 2 villains rode on Witzer and flew into the air before they left. Little Yuana moved next to Zhou and asked, Master, where should we go to have fun next? Zhou knocked her head and reprimanded her. I still have some business to attend to. Oh. Zhou turned to look at John Ijin, who was smiling bitterly. He did not say anything and continued staring at John Ijin. After a while, he only shook his head helplessly and said, What a shame. Little Yuan asked in confusion, Master, what's a shame? That person is smart and cautious. Zhou said as he stared at John Ijin, Where would he be if not here? Realization dawned on John Ijin immediately. He rose to his feet and turned a full circle before flying into the air to look at the surroundings. However, he did not find anything. After he landed, he asked, Old Senior, you're saying the person from the palace has been following us? Zhou stroked his beard and said, It's just a guess. Well, John Ijin chuckled awkwardly. John Ijin, why don't you drop the act? John Ijin was startled. He looked at Zhou incredulously. His legs felt weak as his guilty conscience weighed heavily on his mind. After a while, he chuckled and said, Senior G, what are you talking about? Are you joking? Zhou said slowly, enunciating each word clearly. You're from the palace. He spoke in a tone that brooked no arguments, as though he was certain of it. John Ijin's heart skipped a beat. He forced a smile on his face as he said, How is that possible? Zhou did not bother to reply. John Ijin was smart. There was no need to waste words when speaking to someone smart. John Ijin had known about the plans of the monks from the Temple of Great Emptiness. He knew about the grand ceremony. He also knew Zhou Ping was from the palace. Most importantly, when he had boarded the carriage, he had said someone from the palace was around. Who else would be so familiar with the incident on the holy altar? Who else would know about the schemes of the palace? Zhou sent Mingshi Yin off with Witsard while he remained behind. The elite from the palace had remained as well. The elite did not dare to act recklessly, since Zhou's identity had been exposed. Someone had also been sending him information about the Shi villain, Zhao Yu. Most importantly, when Zhang Aijin found out he was a master of the evil sky pavilion, he was completely flustered since his plans were disrupted, and he began to panic. All these signs pointed to Zhang Aijin being from the palace. I've always been direct with my words. You're smart, so you should know what I mean, Zhou said calmly. Zhang Aijin remained silent. His silence could be considered as his admission. Beating around the bush would only waste everyone's time. He sighed before he said, "You're very astute, Senior G." Zhou stood with his hands behind his back, remaining silent. Zhang Aijin continued to say, "You're only half right, old senior. Indeed, I'm from the palace, but that's in the past. I left the palace a long time ago. There are too many schemes in the palace, and a person like me isn't cut out for a place in life like that." He sighed again. His usual smiling face had been replaced with a solemn expression. The people from the palace fight and scheme against one another most of the time, deceiving each other. Old senior, would you believe me if I told you this? He did not think the old villain would believe his words. I have my own thoughts about this, Zhou answered ambiguously. Zhang Aijin shook his head helplessly and said, "To each his own, I suppose. I like the outside world where I'm free and unfettered. However, my friends prefer to stay in the palace. Whenever we meet up for a few drinks, they would share what they know about the palace with me." Zhang Aijin's words made sense. Otherwise, there was no way a rogue cultivator like him would be privy to the palace's plans. After a while, he said regretfully, "Alas, it's too late for some of my friends to leave the palace now. Some of them had even died." Zhou said, "Their lives have nothing to do with me." Zhang Aijin nodded. It was true. The human relations in the palace were very complicated compared to the outside world. He took a deep breath before asking warily, "Old senior, since you know about my identity, can we call off our previous agreement?" Zhang Aijin loved his life very much. He was extremely guarded when he asked this question since he was not sure if the always calm Zhou would attack him. Zhou shook his head and said indifferently, "You can try." Zhang Aijin was speechless. "I don't think I'll ever be able to disembark from this pirate ship," he said. "Will I be safe if people find out about this?" Zhou said, "I don't care about that." Inwardly, he thought to himself, "I don't think there's a need to worry about your safety since you value your life so much." Zhou turned to Zhang Aijin and said, "As long as you're not working against Evil Sky Pavilion, I won't interfere with whatever you do." He was, naturally, lenient toward those who were talented. He added, "Since you were from the palace, I'm sure you understand the Evil Sky Pavilion and how we work." Zhang Aijin nodded. He sighed and said, "Fine, about the sword you promised me, old senior, I'll give them to you." Zhang Aijin hugged his sword and said, "It's a deal then." Zhou nodded with satisfaction. He flicked his sleeve lightly before his mount. Bayan rushed forward. Before he leaped onto Bayan's back, he said, "I don't care about the palace's affairs, but they better not drag the Evil Sky Pavilion into their schemes and feud." Little Yuaner pulled a face at Zhang Aijin before she leaped on Bayan as well. Zhang Aijin cupped his hands together and said no more. Bayan rose into the air before rushing toward the Evil Sky Pavilion. As soon as Zhou left, Zhang Aijin slumped to the ground. He was really surprised the old villain did not press him about the matters in the palace. This was good. After all, there were many things about the palace that he did not dare to give voice to. As Bayan traveled across the sky, Zhou checked the system dashboard. His merit points were now at 5,010. He had only gained 500 merits points when he gained an informant. Regardless, he thought it was a good deal. Someone like Zhang Aijin was only suited to collaborate with. He was not suited to be a subordinate. Liu Yuaner asked in a small voice, "Master, are we not going to Vine Capital?" Zhou chided her softly. "Little girl, all you think about is playing." Lu Yuaner pouted and said, Master, we shouldn't trust Jiang Aijin. I know. Little Yuaner continued to say, he had worked for the palace. Why would he become your informant? Enough. Zhou rapped his knuckles on little Yuaner's head. However, he was inwardly pleased that she was thinking about such matters. This was much better than before. Meanwhile, in the Tiger Ridge headquarters, the person sitting on the throne was not evil King Zhu Honggong, whose name inspired fear, but the Darknet cult's chief Wu Ya. Seventh senior brother, your information network covers the land, and your information has always been reliable. However, don't you think there's something wrong about the information regarding the incident on the Holy Altar? Kong Xian from the Temple of Great Emptiness is only a four-leaf nascent divinity tribulation realm at best. Is he really capable of taking Zhao Yu away with so many people from the noble and fiend path around? I find it impossible, Zhu Honggong said. Si Wuya said indifferently. Kong Xian didn't take Zhao Yu away. He was killed by a senior Buddhist monk. Kong Xian is dead? Impossible, Zhu Honggong exclaimed in shock. My informants have always been trustworthy. The bald donkeys from the Temple of Great Emptiness activated the Brahmin lullaby, impeding my men from advancing, so they could only observe from afar. However, based on what they saw, there's no doubt that only a senior Buddhist monk is capable of casting the hand seal for the Great Vajra Wheel. How ironic that Kong Xian was killed by one of his own kind. Zhu Honggong scratched his head. As both of them continued their discussion, a cultivator rushed in and fell to one knee before he said, reporting to the cult master, Sword Freechin Wenjie has been killed by Senior Sword Devil. All right. Si Wuya did not seem surprised, but Zhu Honggong was stunned. Cult master, I have another report. Speak. Ren Buping, the master fiend temple master, has come out of seclusion. Si Wuya shot up to his feet immediately. A breakthrough? I don't know. Is the Fiend Temple making any move? Not for now. Inform me right away if they're making a move. Understood. The Fiend Temple's influence had been expanding in recent years. Many elites had joined its ranks as well. Currently, it was like a tiger that had sprouted wings. Previously, Siwia had heard that Renbuping, the master Fiend Temple, had gone into seclusion to cultivate. Occasionally, there would be news about the huge improvements that Renbuping made, but he had never been able to verify the news. The growth in the Fiend Temple's influence had affected the Darknet and especially the Nether Sect. For this reason, he had placed a spy near Renbuping to keep an eye on Renbuping's every move. Renbuping was not the only one who was cultivating in seclusion. The Temple of Great Emptiness Kong Yuan, Luo Xingkong, the former sect leader of the Heavenly Sword Sect, and the Confucian School's elite Chang Xian, who had failed to take down Golden Court Mountain, had all gone into seclusion to cultivate in hopes of achieving a breakthrough in their cultivation bases. However, none of them had shown any signs of a breakthrough thus far. Siwia thought to himself, if Renbuping has a breakthrough in his cultivation base, what is he going to do? Is he going to expand the influence of the Fiend Temple, or will he seek revenge from the Evil Sky Pavilion? He turned to Zhu Honggong and asked, Old Eighth, what are you thinking about? Zhu Honggong mulled over all the possibilities before he said, I'm just thinking if the senior Buddhist monk who cast a hand seal for the Great Vajra Wheel is Master's ally. Master never liked to ally himself with others. However, times are different now. It's not entirely impossible for Master to do something like that. After all, there seems to be a new addition to the Evil Sky Pavilion. Zhu Honggong's eyes brightened. Master has accepted another disciple? I wouldn't say that person's disciple. He's more like a staff. Apart from that, the Golden Court Mountain's barrier has been restored, even though the reason for that is unclear. As for the other matters, let's wait until he has exhausted his allocated lifespan. Another staff? Seventh senior brother, why don't we return to the Evil Sky Pavilion? Zhu Honggong suggested. Si Wuya did not deign to reply. He only looked at Zhu Honggong coldly, causing shivers to run up Zhu Honggong's spine.